Today is the talk show about wines. So while talking about wine, I'll be like to take you a little bit back, not much, but just 10,000 before Christ era. The world's oldest beverage has been found, the traces has been found in 10,000 before Christ era, and the world's first beverage was born. It is called honey wine, and is mead. And during that time, there was no machineries, nothing. And mead was the first sign of civilization. The first process of wine making was fermentation. So when we are talking about fermentation, any fruits or grains, when exposed to air or water, it will naturally develop a process of creating alcohol, ethanol. And the first wine was formed. So wine is actually the oldest form of fermenting process. After that, in 6000 BC, there are traces in China when they developed honey with other fruits, and the honey, this mead was much more developed during 6000 BC. And the most important thing is that the Chinese started making their own wine from rice, fermentation of rice. Around 3000 BC, there are traces in Egypt. Egypt was making wines with grapes. And the first commercial bottle of wine has been found in Egypt in the traces. But due to their climatic condition, later on, they could not sustain of making the wines. They were the big makers of beer during that time. And during the, from 3000 BC, beer was one of the most important drink in Egypt. Around 200 AD, then it was spreading this technology of making wine, the fermentation, it was spreading to different countries. And when it reached Greece, Greece started making this wine from grapes, fermenting grapes. And it was the most popular wine. And later on in today's, whenever we are talking about wine, we are talking about grape wine. In 2000 AD, Egypt, or the Greek started exporting wines in wooden barrels. In 1000 AD, the first commercial winery, Château de Gallon, was formed in France, and it is one of the oldest winery in the world. In 1600 AD, the corks and glass bottles was formed. In 1830 AD, the first modern bottle, what we see wine bottle today, it was formed. And in 1864, one of the most prominent year, it was the yeast. It was the invention that it was being exposed that yeast is responsible. Before that, nobody understood how grape juice was turned into wines. Now the wines in the entire world is made from pears, which is known as puree, apples, which is known as apple cider, the eminent wines from pomegranate, dates, different varieties of fruits are there in wines. But the most prominent wine in the world is from grapes. Today, we have along with us, it is a great privilege that we have along with us an eminent wine trainer, wine educator. She was associated for long years with Sula. And it's a great pleasure to introduce Miss Seema Trehan. She is there to enrich us with about wines. Madam, good morning and welcome to the show. And it's all over to you. Thank you, madam.
Hello, a very happy morning to everyone. So big cheers to all the participants over there. So I'm Seema Trehan, as sir has already introduced you. So I was in the alco-bev industry from past 6.5 years. So recently this year only I have just quit because of certain reasons. So now I'm doing the freelancing, but overall experience is 15 plus years. So I have worked with Sula. So as you know, Sula was one of the first winery in India. Now wine has started evolving as a our lifestyle. the kind of lifestyle we are having in our day-to-day life. It has become a kind of fashion in our life. So it has evolved as a part of life, culture, diet, like since time immemorial. So now, according to the the French gastronomer, he said a meal without wine is like a day without sunshine. So there are like different proverbs, like one of the Spanish said, a bottle of wine is like it's everything is possible, like hope or love is possible when the bottle of wine is open. So we'll just start with the with our presentation, not wasting much of the time. We'll just come to more about aspects of wine. So I'll just share the PPT with you and we'll just start for the wine. So what is wine? So wine is an alcoholic beverage made from the fermentation of the grapes. These days, like we can make wine with like any kind of fruit, but yeah, the basic fruit is grapes. So even the yeast is like during fermentation, yeast consumes all the sugar in the grapes, and the end product is your carbon dioxide, your heat, and the ethanol. Ethanol is what? Your alcohol. So different varieties of grape strains of yeast produces different styles of wine, like the red, white, rosé, and your dessert wine. Can you just move on to the next slide? So wine basically is categorized into three variants, like still wine, sparkling wine, and fortified wines. So under still wines, we have red, white, rosé, and dessert. Still wines are also known as the table wines, so which does not contain any fizz. Then we have the sparkling wine with significant level of carbon dioxide, making it fizz. So that is known as your sparkling wine. This is actually a fizzy drink. And there are few examples: champagne, prosecco, cava, sula brut. Then we have fortified wine. So like still wines, sparkling wine, and fortified wines, what is the difference between all that? Still wines are your table wines, which doesn't include the fizz, and the sparkling, which include the fizz. And generally the still wines have the alcohol content between 10 to 14.5, but fortified wines have more alcohol. Okay, it's like 22% of the alcohol in it. So in still wines we have red. So we'll just talk about the red wine. So red wine is generally made from red grapes only. So depending upon like we can even blend your two red grapes or more than two red grapes varieties, so we can make a red wine. So the color of the grapes is generally from intense violet to brick red, depending upon like from like which climate is there. So depending upon the climate, the color we get, it's that. And then white wine can be made from both red grapes as well as the white grapes, because in white wine we generally don't need the color. So that's the reason we can press the grape juice from red and white both. So red is only made from the red grapes, but white is made from the red and white both. Then we have a rosé wine. Rosé is again can be made from either white or red, but generally most of the red grapes are taken. Grenache is the best example to make the rosé wine. And rosé wine is in less contact with during the fermentation, because we don't need the color as we need in the red wine. So it is in very less contact with the the skin of the grapes. And then we have the dessert wines. Dessert wines are generally very sweet wines. The grapes are plucked at the the later stage. So whenever we are making the sparkling wine, so the grapes are picked at very early stage when the acidity is really very high, because we have the fortified wines, as I discussed, the brandy or any kind of spirit is added during the fermentation or after the fermentation to increase the alcohol strength in the fortified wines. So generally fortified wines are the only wines which are aged up to 100 years. Otherwise we have a misconception that wine jitni purani hogi, that will taste better, but it's not like that. 99% of the wines in the world are meant to be drunk fresh within the 2 or 3 years of its release. But only 1% of the wines are meant to be aged. So all the wines are not meant to be aged. There is a very misconception in our mindset that the older the wine, the better is to drink, or in the taste. So it's nothing like that. So 99% of the wines are meant to be drunk fresh, only 1%. And there are only few grape varieties like Sangiovese and Pinot Noir, which actually age wines really well. And most of the people think the wines are aged in the casks, or you can say wooden barrels. But let me tell you, if we'll start aging our wines in the wooden barrels, it will be really an expensive affair. But most of the wines are aged in the huge steel tanks, like the capacity of more than 1,000 liters, you can say. So but most of the wines, they are aged in the steel tanks. Very less the expensive wines are only aged in the oak barrels. There are few winemakers who actually put the oak chips to get the nutty flavor or the oaky flavor. So they are on the very cheap side of the wines, because they just put the oak chips in the wine. So they are not in case of price range, they are not very high. But if you take wine which is aged for 10 years or 15 years, of course the price range will be little higher. And if we talk about the white wines, again, where white and red both have a health benefit in it. So white wine, again, it's very good for your heart. Any person who is a heart patient, the white wine is really good. And the person if you talk about the red wine, okay, it is equally as good as the white, but it has more antioxidants, if you say. Like it has a polyphenol, they call the tannins, the polyphenol, which is present in the plants, few plants, not all the plants. So it is present in the leaves, it is present in the skin of the grapes. So it has an antioxidant property, which actually helps more benefits in drinking. Most of the people, they prefer drinking red wine. So about the sparkling wine, so basically there are 6 type of you know uh, fermentations in the sparkling wine. So the major one is the traditional one, which is actually used for making the champagne. So people are also misconcepted, like in India, most of the people say all the sparkling wine as a your champagne. But let me tell you, champagne is the region in the France from where actually the wine has come from. So other wines, they are only to be called as sparkling wines only. Champagne is known as champagne. Prosecco is from your Italy. Cava is from Spain. Then Sola Brut is itself from India. So let's clear this doubt. Sparkling and champagne. Champagne can be a sparkling, but all sparkling wines are not champagne. So champagne is only from a champagne region. Just can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay, there are the few red grape varietals. Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon is the king of red grapes. Then we have Shiraz. Then we have Pinot Noir. Then we have Malbec, Merlot, Sangiovese. Sangiovese is from Argentina. So as I said, Cabernet Sauvignon is the king. Cabernet Sauvignon is very robust grape. It is very dark colored skin. Then we have Shiraz. It is again full body grape. Then we have Pinot Noir. This is one of the most planted, or you can say the oldest grape, which is ever planted. Then we have the Malbec. Then we have Merlot. Merlot has a small history behind it. Merlot was actually originated in France, but like due to the the cold conditions, it couldn't exist. So most of the people in France started to blend this with other wines, just because they didn't have the much of the crop to left with them. So whatever was left, it was blended. Otherwise, we can make a very good wine with the Merlot. Then later on, the Argentinian, winemakers, they came to France. They took the, the seedling from the vineyards, and they just planted in the Argentina, in the Mendoza, which is slightly, higher in altitude. They planted there just because of the humid, weather. It planted really well. Now it is basically called, Merlot is actually called that, it is, well grown in your Argentina. So it is known as the Argentinian, but the birth is from the France. Then we have the Sangiovese, which is again from the Argentina. Then we have Tempranillo or Tempranillo, which is a Spanish grape variety. It is really grown well in the Spain. Otherwise, most of these grapes are, they are well grown in all other parts of the globe as well, but their, the birth region is like mainly from the France and the Italy or world as well. Let's move on to the white grape varieties. Okay, in white, there are, let me tell you, these are just common grape varieties. Otherwise, we have more than 400 plus, red and white grape varieties. But these are the known ones with which we are making the red and white wines. We have Chardonnay. Chardonnay is one. Otherwise, most of the white wines, they are very, very light. But Chardonnay is the only one white grape variety which tends to have a fuller body, and it has an alcohol percentage till 14.5. So Chardonnay, if we talk about, it is again from the France. Then we have Chenin Blanc. Blanc means white. So basically when we say blanc, it represents white. If we talk about Noir, which means noir, as we discussed, Pinot Noir. Noir means black, and Blanc means white. Then Chenin Blanc. Chenin Blanc is a versatile grape variety. Like, we can make sweet wine, we can make sparkling wine, we can make dry, off-dry wine. So it is a versatile, grape variety with which we can actually, make all kinds of wine. Then we have Riesling. So Riesling grape is very aromatic grape. It is actually, the birthplace is from the Rhine, Germany. So German Riesling, Cabernet Riesling is very good in taste. Otherwise we have started growing in India as well, and it is grown in other parts of the world as well. Then we have Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc is again a herbaceous grape variety. So it has a, a herbaceous, floral, tropical fruits, aroma in your Sauvignon Blanc. Then we have Pinot Gris. So this is again the French grape variety, but we are going everywhere across the globe. Can we just move on to the next slide? Okay, the temperature plays a very, very important role in drinking wine. If we talk about the sparkling wine, so whenever it is served, it has to be served at the ice cold temperature. So you can say 5 to 10 degree. So just make sure you put it in the freezer at least for 1 hour to enjoy your bubbly wine. Then white wine, fridge cold. Mainly in India, people generally say the wines are served at the room temperature, which is actually not very correct. Room temperature according to the, the European countries, because the concept has come from there. So according to them, room temperature is absolutely fine. But if we talk about India or any other, part of the world, everybody has a different temperature. So it has to be served accordingly. Then, as I told, sparkling wine, ice cold temperature. Then we have white wine. So it has to be served at the fridge cold temperature, as we discussed about Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, Chardonnay, Gewürztraminer. Then we have Viognier. So then we have light red and the rich red. So generally people here in India, they are serving the red wines at the room temperature, which is again if you start drinking the wine at the room temperature, it seems like they are, cooked. You won't get the right aroma, you won't get the richness, you won't get the feel in the wine. You actually don't, get the taste of the grape variety. So light red should be served at the, cool means it should be between 12 to 7 degree. Then we have rich red. It should be served slightly cool, not at the room temperature, like 17 to 21 degree. The temperature should be 17 to 21 degree. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Okay, how long wine lasts open? So most of us here don't know, like, when we open a bottle of wine, how long it lasts. But let me tell you, once the bottle of wine, it is open, it can last till 7 days. But depending what kind of wine you have open, otherwise the cellar, if you are putting in the cellars, the once wine is not open, it has to be maintained at the 15 degree, and it can be kept for a longer time. And sparkling wine, once it is open, it has to be consumed in the same day. But if it is not consumed on the same day, it has to be in the fridge with a wine stopper for at least 1 to 3 days. Then we have light white and rosé wine, which once it is open has to be kept in the fridge for at least 5 to 7 days with the cork. Then we have red wines. Once we open it, it has to be in the fridge for 3 to 5 days, or we can keep it in a cool dark place during the summers. So if you don't want to keep it in the fridge, you can keep it in any of the dark room. Then we have fortified wines, which after once it is open, you can keep it for 28 days. These are the only wines which can actually very good for cooking also. So fortified wines, it has a lot of alcohol in it, as I said, 22%. So it can kept in the dark cool place. No need to keep it in the fridge. You can just keep it in a dark cool place. It can last up to 20 days, or at times it can go more than that as well. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so if we really want to enjoy the wines, so it has to be in the proper glassware. So if we go to some parties or hotels, most of the people, they serve wines in the AP glasses, are regular AP glasses. But wines are one of the most stylish beverage in the world. It has two different glasses meant for the different wines. The first one is for the red wine. The bowl is very, very broad. Like as you see in my hand, it is not so broad, the bowl. Otherwise, for red wines, the bowl has to be really broad so that it is easy to swirl. So second is the white wine glass. The stem should be really, really tall, because our body temperature can hinder the temperature of the wine. And when you will sip the wine, you won't get the aroma or the flavor in the wine. So make sure whenever you're sipping the white wine, the stem should be really tall. And whenever you hold a glass of wine, it has to be held from the stem or from the bottom of the glass. We never hold a glass from the bowl, because your body heat makes your wine warm. So warm wine is not good for drinking. Then we have the champagne tulip, or you can say champagne flute. So generally the champagnes or the sparkling wines are served in the the tall glasses or the flutes, because whenever we put the sparkling wine, if we put it in the bowl with a broad bowl, what happen, all your fizz will go away. So it's better to serve sparkling wine in the long tulip glasses, which can actually keep your bubbly wine long for it keeps fresh or bubbly for a longer time. Then we have a rosé wine, the second last glass. So it is again can be served in the white wine glass. As we said, white can be served in the the long stem glasses, and even the rosé can go with the same. Rosé is basically a summer drink. It is really enjoyed during the summers. So rosé is one of the best summery drink, or you can say, if you want to enjoy wine during the summer, rosé, sparkling and white is the best to be drunk. Then last one is your the glass for serving the port wines, or you can say dessert wines, because these glasses are generally very, very small in size, just because there is a lot of alcohol in it. So we don't want a lot of swirling in that, and the portion is really small, which is to be served. That's the reason we have a very small glasses for the dessert wines. So these are all glass, which is actually very much involved to enhance the aroma of the wine and the taste of the wine. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Okay, these are the top regions of the world. So basically, it is the regions are divided into old and new world. Old world are those worlds where the concept of wine has been started much long before than the new world. So France, Italy, Spain, Argentina, these are all belong to the old world. And in new world, Australia, we have United States, then we have Africa, we have Chile, then we have India. These all includes the new world. So these are the top wine regions of the world. France is really producing Merlot and Grenache very well. Then there are other varieties as well, but these are just few of the great varieties. Then Italy, Sangiovese. In Spain, Tempranillo or Tempranillo. In United States, Cabernet Sauvignon or Zinfandel. 90% of the wines in the United States are coming from the California. Argentina, Malbec, Chardonnay. Argentina, we have Mendoza, which is on the higher altitude. So, those vineyards are best to grow the Malbec and the Chardonnay. Then we have Australia. So Shiraz and Chardonnay is growing really, really well. So in Australia, Shiraz is basically known as the Syrah in the New World, but in France or Spain or Italy, we are just calling them Shiraz. But in New World, we are calling Shiraz as a Syrah. Then Germany, Riesling is one of the best grape variety to be planted. Then we have Pinot Blanc. We have Pinot Noir also, but Pinot Blanc is a white wine grape variety, which is growing best in Germany. That is Pinot Gris and the Pinot Blanc. Then we have South Africa, who are growing Chenin Blanc very well. In South Africa, Chenin Blanc is known as the Steen. So the same variety is called as Steen over there in South Africa. Yes, they are growing Steen, or you can say Chenin Blanc very well in South Africa. Then we have Chile, who are growing Cabernet and Chardonnay. Then we have Portugal, who are actually very good in making the port wines, or the one which we discussed, the fortified wines. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, wine and food pairing. So there is no rule as such pairing your wine, your favorite wine and food, but still, if we really want to enjoy the wine or the flavors in the wine, we have to see the intensity of the wine and the richness in the food. The first one is match the richness of the food and the body of the wine. Richness means thick curries. If we are taking the red wine, so the food has to be highly rich, because you have lot of aromas, you have lot of tannins in the red wine. If I talk about the tannins, what are tannins? Tannins are basically when you drink the wine, you feel the dryness, you feel the dryness on the back of your tongue. So that is known as the that's known as the dryness or the tannin. And then if you talk about the acidity in the white wine, acidity is what? Like when our mouth starts watering, when we sip a glass of or a sip of white wine, our mouth immediately starts watering. That is known as the acidity in the wine. And tannins, which makes your mouth dry just because of the presence of the tannins. So we should always match the richness of the food and the body of the wine, match the flavor intensity. If your food is like really very, very spicy, the wine should be as intense as your food. Then avoid combining oily or very salty foods with a high tannin red wine. So your oily or very, very salty food, like you can say your, the Chinese food, if we talk about, so it really doesn't goes well with your tannic red wines. So we should always avoid oily or very salty food with your tannic wines. Then match the acidity of the foods with the high acidic wines. So generally the acidic wines are, you know, your white wines or your sparkling wines. So we should always match very light food because they are highly acidic wines. So we have to match accordingly. So if we talk about sparkling wine, so the food should be fried. You can say light fried food, or you can serve fresh, and or you can serve anything which is barbecued, so it really goes well with your sparkling wine. And if you talk about white wine, so you can serve your salads, you can serve fish, you can serve white meat with your white wines. But with the red wines is a big no. You can't serve the light food like your chicken or your fish curry, you can't serve with your red wine. So that's a big no to that. Pair chewy meat with the tannic wines. So pair chewy means any red meat with your tannic wines. Tannic means your red wines which has a full body. So you should always make sure whenever you having a red meat, always pair with your highly tannic wines. Then pair salty food with the high acidic wines. So if you want to pair any salty which has a lot of salt in it, you can always pair with the high acidic wines such as your sparkling wine or your white wine. So if we are pairing the cheese, so make sure whenever we matching, you know, the cheese with your sparkling wine, it has to be very soft. You can take an example of brie, camembert, then roquefort. These are the few examples of soft cheese we can actually pair well with your white wine or your sparkling wine. And if we talk about the cheese, pairing cheese with the red wine, so actually your hard cheese really goes very well with your red wines. Hard cheese, you can take example of goat cheese or Gouda cheese, then Parmesan cheese. So these are all varieties of hard cheese which actually goes very well with your red wines. So can we just move on to the next slide? Okay, so now we will be showing a video for the wine making process. So with this, you can come to know how the wines are made, both red and white. So generally, we don't remove the skin of the grapes while making wine. So red and white, it goes in the separate machines. So grapes are not washed away, washed with the water or anything. They are directly coming from the vineyards and going to the machine. So we'll just see the process, how the wines are made. Can we just start the video, please?
Sure, ma'am, just 1 second. I'm sharing. So, ma'am, it was audible. Gupta sir, it was.
No, it's not exactly audible. Can you just increase the volume, please? Still, it's not audible, I guess. Are we done with the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's move on to the last slide, which is left now.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, the last one is like to the tasting of wine. So there are 4 basic steps to taste wine. So 4 basic steps are like sip, see, swirl, sniff, and sip. So generally, why do we see our wine? So we see the color of the wine. So if we really want to identify the alcohol, or to know, like, you know, if our wine is old, if our wine is young, so we need to see it from the color. So the first reason why we see the color, just to judge our wine if it is alcoholic or light bodied wine. So you can just take some neutral background and just check the color of the wine. So if you see the color is really dark, so that means your wine is really, really young. And if your wine, you know, red wine, it start losing its color with the age. Shades, you can say violet color or brick color. But as the red wine start aging, it start turning, you know, leaving its color. So make sure whenever you see the red wine, the color has to be really dark. If you see it is light in color, that means your wine is really very old, which is wine actually doesn't, you know, go bad with the time, but it start losing its flavors, it start losing its aroma with the time. So white wine, it start gaining the color, okay, with the time. And if you see the white wine, the color is really very pale golden straw color. So that's a reason to identify how old is our wine. So we generally see our wine. And second thing, why do we see? So at times we don't know how much, you know, alcohol does a wine have. So there are wine legs which are present when you swirl the wine. When you swirl the wine, you can see the, you know, the droplets crawling down in your glass. That means if they are crawling at a very high intensity, that means your wine is very less in alcohol. If they are crawling at a very slow speed, that means the alcohol strength in the wine is very, very high. Means somewhere around 13 or 13.5, 14 or 14.5. That means the alcohol strength is really high in your wine. You can judge it from the legs of the wine. So if it crawls down immediately, means the wine strength is really low. Then swirl. Why do we swirl the wine? To bring the aromas in the wine, to get the aromas, because wine has been aged in the steel tanks, okay, and at times in the oak barrel, so it need to breathe. So whenever we are opening a bottle of red wine, it has to be open at least half an hour before sipping. But your white wine, they are not meant to be opened like half an hour or an hour before, because they are young wines. They need to be enjoyed fresh. So there is no need to open the wine like at least half an hour before. Only red wines are meant to be opened half an hour before, because they need to breathe. They need to breathe with the oxygen. So second step is swirl. Then we have sniff. Why do we sniff the wine? We sniff the wine to enjoy the aromas in the wine. So whenever we swirl the wine, it, you know, evaporates the aroma, which actually, you know, the person who is from the France or from any European country, they actually enjoy the aromas in the wine. So that's the reason they swirl it, then they sniff it. Last step is to sip the wine. So when we see the wine, when we swirl the wine and we sniff the wine, so all the aromas, all the flavors which come together when we sip the wine, so we identify when we sip the red wine. So we see like, you know, there is something which actually making our palate dry. That is because of the presence of the tannins. So red wine is your tannic wine, which makes your palate dry. But your white wine, that is acidic. So it has a lot of acidity in that, which actually makes your mouth water. So your white wines are acidic. So generally your red wines are more tannic wines. So whenever we sip white wine, it's always like, you know, our mouth starts watering just because of the acidity. So that's the reason we always ask you to pair, you know, the light food with your light whites, or, you know, with red wines, you always make sure you pair chewy meat, so it goes really very well with it. Basic 4 steps to sip the wine: see, swirl, sniff, and sip. So that was all for the day. So we are done with our presentation. If you have any queries, so you can please ask me. I'm happy to answer all your questions. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for a great presentation and amazing video. And you know, your video was amazing. That from the video we able to learn, you know, how to pluck the grapes. From plucking the grapes, how to crush it and make juices. Then how to strain it. Then how to add yeast to that. Then after adding the yeast, how the wine is being formed. Then how wine is bottled, and then how the cork is used in the bottle, and finally labeled for selling. It was a great video and a great presentation, madam. And I would leave right now question answers to the room. Now, anybody who have any questions regarding wines and your future prospects of wine, please feel free. Madam is there to answer. Yes, Sumit sir. We will have the question answer now.
Why is the difference in the bowl of red wine and the white wine glass? So let me tell you why the red wine is served in the broader bowl, because there should be enough room for swirling to breathe the wine. That's the reason we use the broader bowl, so that, you know, our red wines can breathe easily. They have been aged for a while in the barrels, or you can say the steel tanks. That's the reason the bowl is quite broader as compared to your white wine. So white wines are not meant to be swirled as the red wines we do. So that's the reason for white glasses we have the taller stem, but the bowl is not as broad as your red wine glass. I hope I answered your query well. So any other question do we have? So here with me, I have a bottle of sparkling wine. So I just want to tell viewers, so if they are not aware, like, you know, which wine, if they are drinking wine for the first time, so which wine should be, you know, drunk. So they should always start with the light wines, the wines which has, you know, high acidity, and they are less in alcohol. Like, you know, you can always go on the label of the bottle, you always have a alcohol strength. You know, they on the label they always mention like which variety do you have, what kind of varieties do you have in the wine bottle, what is the alcohol strength. At times they actually write what food actually to be paired with this wine. So most of the things are written on your label of the wine. So it is very important the first time who is drinking wine, so they should see if they want, you know, very tannic wine. You can see if they need very alcoholic wine, the alcohol should be like somewhere around 13 to 14. So they are very, you know, strong wines. So if you want to try for the light wines, the alcohol should be between 10 to 10.5 or 11, not more than then it comes to the medium bodied wine. Again, it has a alcohol, but not like your the percentage of 14 or 14.5. Okay, second question, does it affect the wine if we don't open the bottle and if it doesn't for long? Okay, so the shelf life of red wine is approximately 6 to 7 years. If we the bottle is not opened, so it can be kept at least for 6 to 7 years, red wine, but white wine has to be kept for 3 to 4 years only. Same goes with your sparkling wine. So, but once the bottle is open, it has to be consumed within, like, 3 to 7 days or 3 to 5 days. But make sure whenever you're opening a bottle of wine, you call your friends so that you can finish all your wine, because it is very good in taste when it is consumed on the same day. Or else, if you are alone to drink the wine, you can't finish the bottle, you can keep it in the fridge for a while, like 2 to 3 days or up to 7 days, depending what wine you have opened. Okay, why some wines are named by region, some by grape varieties? Okay, we discussed about one, old world and new world. In old world, they are still using the regions on the label, but in new world, the laws are little changed. Okay, in new world and white region, both the laws are changed. Okay, in old world, they are still writing by the name of region, but in the new world they are not writing by the name of the region, but they are mentioning the grape varietals in the new world. Like in India, we are not mentioning from which part of the country it is there. So if you see any bottle, you can only see the Shiraz Cabernet, or Sauvignon Blanc, or Chenin Blanc, or Chardonnay. You can only see the grape varieties, and these laws are applicable only in the new world. But in old world, you can always see the region. So this is the difference. Okay, at what temperature do you recommend to serve the port wines? So port wines, they are higher in alcohol. So you can always serve between 14, 15, or 14 to 17 degree of temperature. So that is the best way to drink your port wine. So in port wine, I will always recommend sherry, or maybe wines from the Portugal. That port wines are the best. Sherry are the most sweetest wine in the world. Then we have Madeira, then we have Marsala, then we have Vermouth. These are the few varieties of the port wines. Okay, what are the major brands of wines from India? Major brands, we have lot of domestic wines. We have lot of, almost more than 45 vineyards in India. So if I say Sula or from Fratelli, then we have growers. Growers or Fratelli, they are not doing so well, but yeah, if you can want to try wine, you can always try from Sula or maybe from the Fratelli. So they are best one to be drunk. So these are the major brands of wine from India. Do they have a complication with the other brands in the world? Complication, yes. If you take Chenin Blanc, which is grown in India, and the Chenin Blanc, which is grown in the France, there is a lot of difference, because in India, the climate is really very hot and humid. So if you taste the Chenin Blanc from our Indian vineyards and the Chenin Blanc from the French vineyard, of course, France is on a very colder side. So the taste will be really different. Okay, here it is citric. Okay, you can say little bit of apple flavor in the Chenin Blanc. And if you talk about Chenin Blanc from the France, so again, depending upon the climate, it takes the aromas, it takes the flavors from the terroir. Terroir is what? The mixture of the climate and your soil. So it makes a terroir. So terroir actually plays a very important role in the flavor and the aromas in the wine. Okay, why we use only grapes for making wine? No, you can use apple, you can use, pear. So in India, we are making other, wines also with other fruits, but majorly, the grapes are the main product with which we are making the wines. So they are well fermented, as compared to other fruits. We are using them as a ciders, but grape, wines made from the grapes, they are the best to be consumed. Why sulfur dioxide is added to the must? Sulfur is the only preservative which is added to your wines, and it is not at all bad for the health. So it is, added in a very less quantity, just to keep your wines, preserved for a longer time consuming the wine for 6-7 years. So wine has to be, preserved. So that is the only preservative we are using in the wine, sulfur dioxide. Okay, what is the future scope for wine tourism? Of course, we have a lot of scope for wine. India has recently developed in terms of wines. It's just been 2 decades in India when the wine has been started developing, and we have very handful of trainers, or you can say sommeliers in India, just 10 of them I can say. So you have a very bright future in your in terms of wine in India, because it's very upcoming. And if you see, after this pandemic, people will be more concerned about their health, so they will anyways tilt towards the healthy factors more. And as you know, wine is one of the most healthiest drink, as it can prevent your heart from several diseases. It can protect your blood vessels. It has a lot of good cholesterol, which actually control your good cholesterols in the heart. So people are these days inclining toward more towards the red wine. So of course it has a very good future, because people are sticking to the wines. It has become a fashion to drink wine. Some are taking for the healthy reasons. Even doctors, they prescribe wine to any of the patient who I'll tell you one story. One of my known, he got the brain stroke like few years back, and red wine actually helps in dissolving those clots in the brain. So it has actually helped him dissolving the clots gradually. Now he is improving his health better with drinking wine in a moderate section. So it doesn't mean that if wine is good for health, we can consume the entire bottle of wine. So whenever we are consuming a glass of wine, it has to be filled just 1/3 of the glass. So 1/3 of the glass is good for your health. If you take more, like anything in excess is always bad for your health. So make sure whenever you drinking wine, it has to be moderate, like not very high. You don't have to get drunk. You just have to enjoy the wine for the health benefits. Okay. Then, can I start the wine production business? If yes, then what laws I have to follow? Of course, you can start the wine production in India. So you have to see, like, the terroir in India. We have only, 2-3 regions where actually we are growing the wine grapes in India. One is in Maharashtra, Nasik, you can say, Dindori region, then in Karnataka, then in Himachal. So it depends what kind of, if you want to make fruit wine, you can anyways move to Himachal and start making, fruit wines. So if you are really eager to make wines from the grapes, so the best terroir is Nasik or Karnataka. So we are getting our best wines from these 2 regions in India. So there are so many laws which has to be followed. So when you will get into this, you will gradually come to know what are the things. But these are the 2 regions where you can actually start your business from and start your vineyards. Okay, what is the best way of reading wine label from the bottle? Best way to read wine, like, okay, I have bottle in my hand. So you can see the alcohol percentage. So this is 12%. So this bottle of sparkling wine contains the 12% of alcohol. This is the full bottle, 750 ml. So otherwise bottles comes in 3 sizes: pints, full bottle, and we have nips also. But in India, most of the people are just taking by the pints or by the bottle only. Then it contains sulfides, which is written like, the sulfides are the preservative which are present in your wine. Then we have, like, at times on the label it's mentioned with which food it has to be consumed with. Then you have the varietal. This sparkling wine is made from 7 different types of varieties. So all the, according to the law, we can't just mention all the grape varieties, not more than 2 to 3 varieties. So that's the reason they have make sure we write only brut. Brut means dry. So they have make sure they can't write all the names of the grape varieties on the label, just the brood. Otherwise, most of the time, grape varietals are written in the New World on your label. Ma'am, is it true that people used to or they still storm grapes with their feet? Yes. In like Portugal, if you say, people are still stomping the grapes, but most of the countries now, they have, just to kill the time, or to make your wine more hygienic, hands free, so they are using the machineries. Otherwise, there are few regions in the world which are still using the stomping method. They are still crushing the wine grapes with the feet. Otherwise, most of the countries have started using the machineries now. Okay, is there any allergy or side effect due to the wine consumption? Not at all. There is no allergy, no side effects of drinking wine. Side effect can only be occur if you are taking in excess. So means if you are taking full entire bottle of wine, so of course, it will badly affect your health. So if you are taking in a moderate, so nothing is going to happen. Okay, which is the correct cellar to keep both the red and white wines? So there is only one cellar where they actually maintain the temperature for the red wines and the white wines and the sparkling wines. So cellar is one all in all, but you have to maintain the temperatures accordingly, where you have to keep your reds, where you have to keep your whites and the sparkling. So, and the temperature is 15 degree. It has to be maintained at the 15 degree. Okay. Any other question we have?
Ma'am, there is a one question. What is the difference between generic wine and spiritual wines?
Sir, I think if Madam allows me, I would like to answer this one.
Yeah, sure, sir, please.
If Madam has already if you have checked this one, generic wine and varietal wine. See, generic wine is those wines whose names comes from the region, especially in the Europe. If you see the Bordeaux, Burgundy, Beaujolais, the name of the wine comes from that particular region. It's called generic wines. And varietal wines are those names of the wines which comes from different varieties of grapes or from the names of the grapes, like Shiraz, Cabernet. So this basically the difference in the naming. Generic means it specially started in the Europe, that the name of the wines should start from the regions of the Europe, as I have mentioned. Yes, yes, in generic. And the other is varietal. The wine's name will be from this variety of grapes, Cabernet, Shiraz, or Riesling. This sort of thing.
Chenin. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. It's sir,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, just like your old world and new world.
Yes.
As we discussed in new world, we are just mentioning the grape varieties, and in old world we are using the generic names, that is from the region, the Burgundy region, or the Beaujolais, or according to the regions. Okay, which wines have the highest alcohol percentage? Fortified wines, up to 22%. So fortified wines have the highest alcohol percentage. In India, what food you pair with this wine? Which wine can you please specify?
Ma'am, can you, while the person is writing about the wine, so I just want to take the next question. Previously also I have seen one or two students ask the same about that one. It's about the wine laws in the country. Many of the students are very interested to know about the wine laws.
Wine laws, if you talk about India, they are different as compared to the other part of the globe. So both are different. So if they want to grow vineyards here in India, so the laws are entirely, as I told, like we can't write the region of the name on the label. Then we have restricted laws, like which grape varieties are we using here. So in India, we are using Bangalore purple. We are using the, different varieties of grapes. So there are different laws. I will not be going so deep in that. So because this is something,
Yes,
different.
and
Yeah.
ma'am, another question is from one of the student, and he said he want to be the wine souvenir. Can you give some
Sommelier.
tips? Yes, sommelier.
Fine, sommelier.
I think maybe yes. So he said, can you give me some tips for that?
Okay, for
Uh,
that tips, you need to, complete your different levels in the wine and spirit education. So we have 4 different levels in wine and spirit education: level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fourth level, 3 of them are we are doing here in India, but the fourth one is still in, other part of the globe. So if you want to be a wine sommelier, so you have to complete this level 1, 2, and 3. So of course, you will be ending up with the best job, I can say, here in India, because as I told you, we just have, you can say, just 10 sommeliers in India who has completed their diplomas in wine and spirit education. So of course, this is, you have a very good future in wine industry if you really have done, level 2, level 3rd, or if you have done 4th, of course, it will be a great achievement. So anybody can hire you at a very bigger scale in India as well as in abroad. So at least if you are level 3, still you can manage to get a very good job in the wine industry.
yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one question. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, just now, during this time of pandemic, a lot of people are doing a research on food for medicine purpose. So can we use wine for a medicine purpose in this pandemic time?
Medicinal see, in olden days, doctors, they used to prescribe, wine as a medicinal purpose. But these days, of course, as I told you, people are more concerned about their health. So if you talk about health benefits, of course, wine have lot of health benefits. As I talked, it has a resveratrol, so which can actually control your bad cholesterol and good cholesterol in your body. So of course, we can always try red wine or the white wine, which are, in a healthy way. So if you take a glass of red wine, you can 1/3 of the glass, which is actually very good for your health. And if you can pair it with the food, which actually goes well with this, so of course, health and food both are there to give you boost. I won't say it is a immunity booster, but of course, definitely it will be building your blood vessels in your heart. So definitely I can recommend red wine for your, health benefit. Though white wine is equally as good as red, but red has more antioxidants, so which is very helpful for your health.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, how many grapes does it take to make a standard bottle of wine? So you have to squish almost 600 to 800 grapes to make a bottle of wine. So 600 to 800 grapes to make a 750 ml of bottle. Okay. Something about weed infused wines that came last year in the there is nothing as such. Maybe that wine might have, like, the wines which are with the cork, if they are not placed properly, you can't just place it in a vertical position for a longer time. Okay, it has to be placed horizontally if you want to keep it fresh, or like, for 6-7 years. So that's the reason the cork might have dried, so it has appeared as a weed in the wine. So I think that was the only thing. Otherwise, no weed as such is, seen in the wine so far. So that is just because the cork might have got dried and it had infused in the wine. Okay, I was planning to go to France for future studies. So Can you recommend any institution which I can consider going to? Right now, I'll just check. I have few people in the France, but I'm really not sure which actually, best is for the wine education, but I'll certainly check Mahip and we'll get back to you. Any other question?
There's one
Okay,
question,
which
ma'am.
country?
Yes, ma'am.
Which country? Yeah, Italy. Though France is growing, a lot of making lot of wines, but if you talk about area, I think Italy is the one which has largest vineyards in the world.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
but yeah, France is making more wines as compared to Italy, but the area wise, Italy is more as compared to France.
Right, madam. And I think, all the viewers had a great learning and they should understand, wine is such a royal affair. And what is generally the cost of the wine? The costly red wine in the world is Domaine La Romani, which is in
Yes,
France. And the pricing of the wine ranges from different top hotels, $20,000 till $75,000, some crores.
yes,
And the red wine, the white wine, is the German, the Muller Riesling, which ranges from around $45,000. So this is actually a pricing of a wine bottle. So how much royalty
yeah,
wine has, this every viewer should understand that this is the royal beverage. Yes.
yes,
Any
very
other,
true, sir.
any other
So
question?
why red wines are aged but not white wine? See, white wines are meant to be. It has a very refreshing flavors. It has to be drunk very young. We don't age wines, white wines. Why? Because it has to be consumed fresh, and we can enjoy only the fresh, refreshing aromas in that. Red wines, they are aged because they are meant to be aged, and most of the red wines are aged in the oak barrels or in the steel tanks. The cheaper wines are aged in the steel tanks, but the high end wines, they are aged in the oak barrels for 1 year or 2 year. It depends upon the winemaker for how long they want to age their wines. So white wines are tend to be drink fresh, so that's the reason we don't age white wines, and we only age the red wines because it has a ability to age. White wines, they don't have the ability to age in the oak barrels. At times there are winemaker who age white but in the used oak barrels, that is also just for 1 or 2 months. But reds, they are aged for a longer time, like more than a 1 year of span or 2 years, depending what kind of wine it is. That which type of wine is used for cooking? For cooking, you can use the fortified wines. It can be Marsala, it can be Madeira, Port, Sherry, so Vermouth. So these are the few wines which can actually use for cooking. The fortified same wines you can, which are high in alcohol, you can use it for cooking. Is it right that storing the wine in the wooden barrel tastes better than the storing in the steel? See, steel barrel and the oak barrel, the taste is very, very much difference, I can say. So people, like, who actually love wines, they generally drink wine from the, oak barrels, which are aged in the oak barrels. The wines which are on the cheaper side, they are aged in the steel tanks. So there is a price difference only. And of course, the taste does makes a difference, the wine which is aged in the oak barrel and the steel tank. So of course, if you really love wines, you should always try wine which are aged in the oak barrel, not from the steel tanks. But most of the wines in India, they age in the steel tanks just to cut the the cost factor and all. So most of the people, they are aging wines in the steel tanks. Otherwise, of course, expensive wines are yet to be aged in the oak barrels. I want to do internship in wine vineyard. Is it possible or possible? Which vineyard you will recommend to? You can always try in Sula Vineyard. They are very happy to take the interns, and of course you will end up getting the job as well. So I would recommend Sula Vineyards, or you can say Fretli. So it's in the Nasik. You can always do your internship. They are under the, very brilliant winemakers we have. So you can always try your internship there. Okay. You can always go to their, website. We have numbers. We have email address. So for the internship, you can always Google and get their numbers and emails.
So I think, madam, everybody got their answers.
Yes.
And yes, it was an excellent session of wine. And I think almost everybody of us had some learning, and which we will be, in future, it will helping us to grow. And finally, I would like to thank Ms. Seema Trehan for, conducting this great session on wine and upgrading us about the wines and, the current scenario of the wine. And finally, we would like to close the session. Yes, the wine is actually the beverage of the upcoming era. It has great medicinal values, as Madam has mentioned. It actually helps in the heart diseases and coronary attack, the arteries. It helps in, really in the heart diseases. And wine, there are certain wine laws, like in Bihar, in Gujarat, in Lakshadweep, in Manipur. You don't, they don't allow you to do business of wine breweries. Apart from that, Indian Indian law has, you can do your wine in other states, and the law does not, stop you from producing wine in your homes. So wine is such a vast beverage. You can be a sommelier after learning, and next generation sommelier would be one of the most top professions in the world, because standalone restaurants are gearing up with wines, which was only a top affair with the five-star hotels. Now the standalone restaurants are gearing up with the old age wines, the new age wines, the world wines, and there will be requirement of the sommelier who will have the knowledge of different wines, the body of different wines, the unique values of different wines, the pairing of different wines, and they will be helping in selling the different wines to the particular requirement on customized requirement of the customers. And wine will have a upcoming future of the wine will be great, because right now the people after the COVID are more health conscious and drinking in a moderate manner. The wine will be definitely a beverage. And we thank all the viewers and especially Seema Madam, for a wonderful session on wine presentation, an amazing video. And thank you everyone. Thank you all the students, all the viewers who are today, and hope that we will have these sort of sessions weekly, so that we can educate us in different beverages, different service standards of the hotel industry. Thank you, Sumit sir, and it's to you, Sumit sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I can see the chat box. It was full of the questions, and I haven't seen so much questions. I think viewers are taking so much interest in the talks, and I hope they all have got their queries solved. And I can see the lot of gratitude is coming for you, ma'am. And yes, ma'am, I personally believe it was a great session for all of us, for the students and for all the faculty member as well. And I would like to say one more time, thanks to you, ma'am, for giving us the precious time. And we would like to see you in future, definitely. And thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. And once again, cheers to everyone.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.